Hello, everyone. This video will be about noun clauses that begin with the word if or whether. If you have not seen my other video introducing noun clauses, please check that video out, noun clauses versus question words. So today we're going to continue looking at noun clauses. Again, many students confuse noun clauses and questions because noun clauses often look like questions, but again, they are not questions. So let's start, as in the previous video, reviewing question forms. Okay? How would we ask a yes or no question? So in the last video, we looked at questions with question words like when, where, why, how, who. Today, we're going to look at those yes or no questions. Questions that can be answered with a yes or a no. In the left column, we see a list of statements. So the first statement, Carl is here today. If I wanted to make that statement into a question, what would I do? Well, if you remember, yes, no questions in English will flip the subject in verb when the verb is a to be verb. Here we have the verb, to be verb is. So we're going to flip the subject and verb. The question becomes, is Carl here today? In the next question, we have a future tense with the word will. Dr. Pepper will be at the meeting. If we want to ask this as a yes/no question, we flip the modal will with the subject, just like we flipped the to be verb with the subject. So the question is, will Dr. Pepper be at the meeting? Now we have something a little tricky. The next sentence, Nico went to work yesterday. It's not a to be verb, and there's no modal or helping verb like will. So what do? Right? We don't flip the verb and subject. We don't say, right? We don't put went Nico to work yesterday. That's not how we ask a question in English. We keep that main verb, the verb to go, went, after the subject. Okay, but we're going to put a helping verb or auxiliary, usually do, does, or did. Okay, did Nico go to work yesterday? So it's past tense. So we say did. Went, which changes to the base form go because we already have the past tense did. Okay. Pause the video. Try the next 6 sentences. Again, take that sentence, turn it into a question. How would you do it? When you're finished, restart the video. All right. Ready to check your answers? Okay, the next sentence, there is going to be a storm. We see that to be verb. Is there going to be a storm? That's a question. She has my email address. Present tense, so we need a do or does. It's she. Does she have my email address? You are tired. Okay, we take the to be verb, move it to the front. Are you tired? You are going to be in class. Are you going to be in class? Question mark. Pal borrowed the car. Okay. Here we have past simple, borrowed. we're going to use the helping verb did. Did Tao borrow the car? Question. And Petrie can babysit tonight. We have the modal auxiliary can. We move out to the front. Can Petrie babysit tonight? Question. Right? So that's how we form the questions in English. Remember, the modals, like can or will move to the front of the subject. Or the auxiliaries, like do, does, did, they will be put in front of the subject. If it's a to be verb, the to be verb is, are, was, were, that will move to the front of the subject. So we have this flipping going on. Now, you have the question. What about the answer? Just like in the previous video, we can answer with a noun clause. So if the question is Carl here today? Well, I don't know. Is he here? Or maybe he is not here. I don't know. So I can answer, I don't know. Or I can answer with a noun clause. I don't know. And here, unlike the question words that had whose, who, what, were, which, there's no question word. We're just asking yes or no. So our pronoun to start the noun clause will be if. I don't know if Carl is here today. So we start the noun clause with an if, and then because it's a noun clause, it will have a subject and a verb. We do not flip the subject and verb because this is not a question. So that backwards question or question order, is Carl here today? That's for a question. Here, this is not a question, it's a noun clause. So you're saying, I don't know this information. Whatever you ask me, I don't know the answer. I don't know if Carl is here today. The next one, will Dr. Pepper be at the meeting? Well, I'm not sure if Dr. Pepper will be at the meeting. We can see here, after the if, we will have subject, verb, all in normal sentence order. It looks just like the sentence. Right? We don't have to do any flipping around. Okay, because this is not a question. Try the next, pause the video, try them out. Okay, remember to use the word if, followed by subject, followed by verb. And remember, these are not questions. Okay, so let's see what you got. When you're ready, let's check some answers. I wonder if. And I can copy paste this whole thing here because that's what I don't know. Or I wonder if Nico went to work yesterday. We don't need the did. Get rid of did. That's a question. This is not a question. Okay. Tell me if there is going to be a storm. Okay. So again, do not move the to be verb in front of the subject. Keep it in normal sentence order. I need to know if, right? I really need to know if she has an email address. Okay? We don't want that word does in there. We put the word does for questions. This is a noun clause, not a question. Okay? We want to know if subject, you, verb, are. Tired. Okay? So we're always going to have if followed by subject, followed by verb. Do you know? This one's interesting, right? Do you know if subject, you, verb, are going to be in class? Notice in this one, I'm asking a question. Do you know if you're going to be in class? But the question is not, are you going to be in class? The question is, do you know if? Okay? So we can see that in the first part of this question, we have the word do. Do you know? That's the question part. Do you know? Okay. That's where I ask the question. Let's put that in a different color. And we can see, do you know? That's the question. All of this at the end is our noun clause, which will be a statement, not a question. Let's make that blue. Okay. Do you know if you are going to be in class? Okay. That noun clause must have subject, then verb. Okay. Did Hal borrow the car? Why do you want to know if Hal borrowed the car? Okay. Then there's a question here, right? Why do you want to know that? Right? That's going to be in my bright red. That's my question. This information here is the noun clause. That's the information they want to know. Hal borrowed the car? Yes or no? Why do you want to know if Hal borrowed the car? How am I supposed to know? So can Petrie babysit? How am I supposed to know if Petrie can babysit? So again, the question, how am I supposed to know? We have the reverse order, right? The verb am comes before the subject I. That's the question. In here, this is not a question, this is a noun clause. That's the information that we're talking about. Petrie can babysit. Okay? And again, it's a yes, no question, so we use the word if. If, subject, verb. Okay? Very commonly, I see students say something like, do you know? Are you going to be in class? That's kind of two questions in a row. Do you know? Are you going to be in class? Okay. Or why do you want to know? Did Tao borrow the car? They'll say something with a did in there. We don't want the do, does, or did. We don't want to flip the subject and verb in a noun clause because it's a noun clause, not a question. Okay. One last thing to know is that the word if can be replaced with a different pronoun there, whether. Not like the weather, it's sunny, it's rainy, but we're talking about this or this. So the word whether implies a choice, yes or no. I don't know whether Carl is here today. Okay? I'm not sure whether Dr. Pepper will be at the meeting. Okay? I need to know whether she has my email address. How am I supposed to know whether Petrie can babysit? Any of these, we can replace the word if with the word whether, and it has the same meaning. If is much more common in English, especially in spoken English. Whether is usually a little more formal and will appear more commonly in writing. But even in writing, the word if is more common, but they mean the same thing. Great. I hope you enjoyed this video, found it useful. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask. Thanks for watching. Bye.